Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. What is Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute. So, we see in the first chapter, the Prathama part of the Durga Saptashati, the predominance of tamas, and here Madhu and Kaitab, because Brahmaji is sleeping, Vishnuji is sleeping, everyone is sleeping, and that's why tamas. And in that, the two Rakshasas who come out of the dirt of the ear, where are ears placed? On two sides of the head. What is between the two sides of the head? No, space. Space. So, also, Swami Shivananda says that space and sound are the expressions of Madhu and Kaitam. But what they are representing is the negative aspect of the space and negative aspect of the sound. Whereas Brahmaji, what is the first thing that he chants? Om. And what comes out of Om? The creation. Whereas these were the Om, opposite of Om they go. And they wanted to create their own creation, and because they didn't need Brahmaji. They were independently created, and in this way they had to be destroyed, and Madhu and Kaitab, they are representing the tamasic aspect of the sound and space and sound. And in this manner, this is another explanation. We talked about it as desire and greed. Here it is as sound and space and sound. And whenever the sound is used or space is used for negative aspect, it normally creates chaos. Whereas Brahmaji is perfect order. That's the opposite of it. So with Om, there is always perfect order. When we have forgotten Om, or we have forgotten the truth, we have forgotten the self, then there is chaos. Simple. So what you have to do? Chant Om. Remember Om. Contemplate on Om. And and they create this duality of through the tamas, which brings about chaos. And now we already talked about the death of the two of them, and now we enter into the, what is that? Mahishasur. The Mahishasur, they will just chant the first part. Dvitiyodhyayaha viniyogaha Om Madhyam Charitrasya Vishnu Rishihi Mahalakshmir Devata Ushtik Chandaha Shakambhari Shaktihi Durga Bijam Vayus Tattvam Yajurveda Swarupam Shri Mahalakshmi Prityartham Madhyama Charitra Jape Viniyogaha. In this way, this is the location of this Devi, Mahalakshmi, who is what is the Veda representing her, what is the the Swarupa, what is the Chanda, what is the Devata, what is the Rishi, what is the Shakti, all these different aspects. Where, why do we say? Just like Google, when you say the correct data, then it will give you the correct location. The same way, when you take these all the parameters, then you can locate our Mahalakshmi. And here in Mahalakshmi's story, where are we? Madhu and Kaitab. So we begin with this story, and what happens here is the Devas and Asuras are basically brothers. Why? Because one was born from Diti, and the Asuras were born from Diti, and the Devas were born from Aditi. And the story goes that they were born to Kashyapa and his wives, who were these two, and they used to quarrel over their rights for who is going to be more, who has got the rights of, like siblings fight over the after parents who will take care of all the property. Like that. So so they used to continuously fight for supremacy. And what is the supremacy? Who is going to be the ruler of these three worlds? Is it going to be the Devas, or is it going to be the Asuras? They are both not there. Nobody has been appointed, but they are from the beginning they are fighting, and till today they are fighting. And the heavens, the earth, and the nether worlds. The Devas would contend that the three worlds belong to them, whereas the Asuras claimed that these were their domain. So there used to be wars between them, which would sometimes total and gruesome. In these wars, the powerful ones would become victorious and rule over the worlds. And there have been many, many times in the Puranic stories we have seen when Asuras have become more powerful than the Devas, and sometimes Devas are more powerful than the Asuras. Asuras always become more powerful than the Devas when the Devas forget their source. They forget Brahmaji, they forget the Narayana, they forget the Lord Shiva. Then their energy becomes less, their effulgence becomes less, and when they forget, some wrong gets committed by them. And immediately, just like for everything there is an opposite in this case. Man, woman, in, out, up, down, right, left. Just same way the Kaitab, Madhu and Kaitab, they are also opposites, came from opposite ears. The same way at the atomic level also everything is positive ions and negative ions, and like this it goes on. Positive numbers and negative numbers. Similarly, whenever the positive becomes weak, the negative becomes strong, and these are the Asuras that we are talking about. And and immediately the one who is defeated, they will start mobilizing until they gather enough strength and start another war. So we see this whole creation is continuous war between the Devas and the Asuras. When Asuras get defeated, slowly they build up their armies, they build up their forces, and eventually wait for that one moment and attack. And when Devas get defeated, they also build up their forces. They collect not only the physical, always Devas are always less in number than the Asuras. So they get the weapons, etc., and then when they have become strong enough, then they present a challenge to the Asuras, because invariably power corrupts. So when Asuras are in power, they will make some mistake. When Devas are in power, maybe they will rule for a long time, but eventually they will make one mistake. And this is how the cycle of creation is going on. This is going on in your mind only. You can't be always right, you can't be always wrong. कोई क्या करो, बीच में रहो. ना इधर के ना उधर के, मतलब ना घर का ना घाट का. this is the eternal pattern from the beginning of creation. However, there is a difference between the method of living and fighting. The asuras depend on brute physical strength, no thinking, only brute physical strength. Why? Desire. I want that, and at any cost, I'm going to get it, my way or the highway. And devas, these asuras, they have no faith in the nobler values of honesty and righteousness, and so they have no problem in adopting all kinds of unethical ways to win the war. They will do anything, and they use deceit, hypocrisy, trickery to get what they want. They invoke the dark forces for their victory. They do black magic, etc., etc. And they will not invoke the Devi. They will invoke the Alakshmi. They will invoke the Adurga. They will invoke the other negative forces. And the Devas, on the other hand, always invoke the Supreme Lord for their victory. Whenever they think that they are going to win on their strength, they always get defeated. But when they invoke the Shiva, Lord Shiva or the Narayana, then they always win. And that is the main difference between Asuras and Devas. And in this way, there are instances when they had deviated from their noble path, and in all such cases, whenever they have deviated from God focus, they have a fall, they lose their heavens, and eventually the three worlds are ruled by the asuras. And then they rise up again, and asuras have no problem of like this, because they have never risen from their base nature, and therefore had nowhere to fall down upon. Asuras are already fallen. Asuras have already fallen, they can never rise up. So therefore they are of that brute nature. Whenever the king of gods, the Indra, whenever he confronts a fall due to his mistake because of something he has done, something he has said, someone he has disrespected, and they curse him, and he makes a mistake. And in this way, the gods, the Brahmaji, Vishnu, and Mahesh, that time they use some person from the human realm to take the charge, the affairs of the heaven. And one example which I remember, maybe many are there, is when the Indra has done the wrong act with Ahalya. At that time, the gods, they bring Nahusha. Nahusha is the son-in-law of Lord Shiva. His daughter was married. First the daughter was born, then Kartikeya, and then Ganesha. So that daughter is married to Nahusha, King Nahusha. And that Nahusha, because he is so just, he is so right, he is given the role of the kingship of heavens. And there, when he becomes the king of heaven, then first he is fine, but slowly the power, the control, oh my God, all these powers, wow. Then whatever is Indra's is mine, wow. Then his attention went to Shachi, his wife. He wanted his wife also. And she kept keeping him away, some excuse. Many years passed, and one day she went to the Lord and said, "What do I do? This fellow is always after me. He thinks everything is in heaven is his, so I am also his. How can that be?" So the Lord tells her that next time he comes, you say yes. But you say, I got a condition when you come. I want you to come on a palanquin carried by the 7 sages. And because he was so lusty, Nahush. Now, this, why did it not happen in the beginning? Because power corrupts slowly. So, by the time his power, he has become powerful, at the same time, Indra is completing his penance. So, as he is completing his penance, here Nahusha is making mistakes. And he makes the mistake of falling in love with Shachi. And then he asks all the seven sages, come, take me to Shachi. She has welcomed me. And today I'm going to get married to her. This, that. They say, all the seven rishis come. Out of them, one is Agastya. Agastya is short compared to all other. So when the palki is going, every time they take the step, one side of the palki goes on the, because he's short. So he's not able to sit still. And in that lust, he forgets what he has done. He has asked the sages to carry the palki. And then on top of that, he admonishes sage Agastya. And the moment he does that, he gets a curse. Story over. He goes back to earth and Indra comes back to his position. There and then. So ऐसे stories है, हाँ? And so and at many times when there is no one, like Dasharath Maharaj was requested by Indra Devata to come and help him win the war against the Asuras, isn't it? Similarly, Parikshit Maharaj was God on earth, the Indra on earth, where, what was his padvi? That he was young, he was youthful, he was righteous, he was taking care of all the subjects as his children. All the subjects on this earth loved him as a person. So perfect harmony. And that's why Kali Yuga could not come till Parikshit did not make a mistake. And that mistake, you remember, Kali Yuga came and surrendered in front of him. He said, you have defeated me 17, 18 times. Please give me a space. I can't do anything. Nature is making me to come and I have to come. You have to give me a space. I know I cannot defeat you because of your righteousness. Now I come and take Sharanagati at your feet. You give me a space. So he gave him. Go to gold. जाके खोपड़ी पे बैठ गया. Gold bars and वैश्य घर 3 जगह पे.
And पानी के बुलबुले में.
पानी के बुलबुले में. In the fane. And in this way, so therefore you should not drink carbonated water. It is not good. You're putting carbon in. You need oxygen in. So never drink carbonated water. Or fizzy drinks. So anyway, so where were we?
Nahusha comes back.
Now Nahusha comes back. So that story is over. And so Dasharath Maharaj I talked about, and also at Dasharath Maharaj helped, and at many times Parikshit I was talking about, that when Indra makes some mistake, sometimes some person from the earth who was very righteous, who has through his record shown that he is worthy of being a king of heavens, was made to handle the heaven from earth. Such are our saints and sages. So even kings have been like that. Raja Janak was there, Raja Dashrath, we know that he went and helped, and so on. Parikshit was there. So once upon a time it so happened that when the real Indra, now we are talking about real Indra, not impersonate Indra or someone who has been put there, the real one was himself ruling the heavens, and a demon called Mahishasur was ruling the nether worlds. Nether worlds, Tala, Sutala, Tala, Pitala, all those down ones, below the earth. And a war broke out between the Devas and the Asuras. It lasted for a full 100 years. Now again, very significant. First was how many years it lasted?
5,000.
5,000 years. Second one is lasting only 100 years. So where was the first war held? In the cosmic realm. 100 years is the normal life of a human being. So where is the war being held? On the earth, in the human realm. Again, something that just came. And in this way, it lasted for a full 100 years. Ultimately, the Asuras won the battle. They drove the Devas and took over the lordship of the three worlds. Bhurva Swaha, under the control of Mahishasur. And who is this Mahisha? He is a water buffalo, a bull or a water buffalo, black in color. You see them many in India. And what is that? This Mahisha is such that if it is sitting in the middle of the road, traffic can be going this way, that way. There can be honking going on everywhere. And he is not ready to, totally oblivious to everything. मस्ती में पड़ा हुआ है, मस्ती में. जब तक कि उसको डंडा ना मारो तब तक वो उठता नहीं है. तब जाके उठेगा. Then he will get up. So this Mahisha appointed himself as the Indra of the heaven, and the Devas who had been defeated approached Brahmaji. And who is Brahmaji? The creator. And told their problems in detail, that this is how Mahishasur come and troubled us and threw us out of our heaven. Now we are at your mercy. Please help us to come get the heaven back, because we need to get the oblations. That is our food. There will be disorder in the universe. And it is true. If Indra is not there, there will be disorder in the universe. So they have all their job descriptions. So he goes and all of them go and complain to Brahmaji and conveyed their misery. Brahmaji could not solve their problem because he himself is a creation. He has to go to higher authorities. He is only a handler of creation. He's not got the jurisdiction over maintenance. तो मेंटेनेंस के लिए फिर विष्णु के पास जाना पड़ता है. और अगर डिस्ट्रॉय करना है, विष्णु विल से इट इज़ नॉट इन माई jurisdiction, go to Shiva. So when they went, by chance they found Vishnu and Shiva. They were sitting together and having tea. So Indra, Brahmaji said, these fellows have some problem, and they narrated their problems to Vishnu and Lord Shiva, who were sitting together. Devas described the problems in detail, and they said, Mahishasur has taken over the lordship of the worlds. He has thrown out the deities appointed by you, because Bhagavan only appointed, for performing their respective duties, like the Surya, Indra, fire, Agni, Vayu, Chandra, Yama, Varuna and others. He has assumed charge of their portfolios and is ruling the world according to his whims and fancies, not according to the rules of the creation. And we have been driven out and we have come to seek refuge here. Kindly do something to end this Mahishasur, the rule of Mahishasur. The moment gods heard, Vishnu and Shiva heard the plight of the Devas, immediately they became very angry. Eyes became red, the face became red, and जब गुस्सा आता है तो क्या होता है? लाल हो जाता है, चमकने लगता है लाली के साथ. Both Vishnu and Mahesh, both of them are becoming red and heated up with anger. Eyes are heated, and suddenly out of that, जैसे गुस्सा बाहर आता है, anger comes out of you, suddenly it pops out. Like that, suddenly an effulgence, or the energy out of them came out. At the same time, the effulgence came, some light came out from Vishnu and Shiva, and both of them, from the angry faces of Vishnu and Shiva, a brilliant light came out. And then when that light came out, they said, all the gods and Brahmaji realized something is happening here which we don't understand, let's contribute. So Brahmaji also gave his light to that, already that light which has come. Then Indra and all the gods, Devtas who were there, all of them gave their aspect of light, added their bit to that total light, and in this way it became a huge conflagration, a brilliant conflagration, and there was such a fantastic brilliance that emerged as the lights of all the gods and the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all the lights got merged. There was a great brilliance, and there was a mountain of light and shining in all directions, and slowly that particular light started taking the form of a goddess with a dazzling form, and it was throwing out all the darkness that was there. And in this manner, here the story goes that द्वितीयोध्याय अच्छा यहाँ पे नहीं है, हाँ यहाँ पे है ना. So each god presented as the goddess took the form. Now what are the gods doing? They are giving the various parts to the body, and after giving all the parts to the body, because some part has to be given, who will make her head, who will make her crown, who will make her hands, who will make her anklets, who will make her kamarband, who will make her various parts. So I'll just quickly read a few and then we will go ahead, or I can read the whole thing. From the splendor that issued forth from Lord Shiva, her face was formed, and from that of Yama, her tresses. From Vishnu's splendor was formed her long, beautiful, extremely powerful hands. From the splendor of the moon were formed the breasts. From Indra the waist. From Varuna the thighs and the shanks. And from the earth's deities hips, that goddess's hips. From the splendor of Brahma was formed her feet. From the sun deity her toes, and from the Vasus her fingers. From Kubera's her nose. From the splendor of the Prajapati were formed her teeth. From Agni the three eyes. From the dusk and dawn the beautiful eyebrows, and from the Vayus the ears. From the splendors of all Devas, remaining parts of our body were formed. Thus there manifested in front of them the divine form of the goddess. Who is she? Formless. As the wife of Ishvara, she is formless. Remember, then she expresses. She is the unexpressed potency of Lord Shiva, which is not other than Shiva. Shiva is called Shiva, or Ishvara is called Ishvara only with reference to her. They are inseparable too. But she has not become activated yet. When she is not activated, she is called the consort of Ishvara. When she gets activated, the first activation, it will be Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. With reference to them, she will be called, because activation means suddenly the Trigunatmika Prakriti has started. Clear this much? So here, looking at this beautiful, glorious form of the Devas who were tormented by Mahishasur, experienced great joy and a sense of confidence that this great goddess is going to solve all our problems. And then the Devas started presenting her the weapons. And here in this chapter, second chapter, the Devas thereafter adorned her, because now first from their energy, the body was formed. Did they know that the goddess was going to come? No, it is the divine will. All they did was they saw Vishnu and Shivji out of the anger to counteract this Mahishasur power. They give out the energy out of the anger. They also gave. And it automatically took the form of the goddess. And yeah, now the form has been created. Now, with what is she going to fight? So they started giving her the Lord Shiva drew forth a trident and gave her the trident. Then Vishnu gave her the discus, and Varuna presented the conch, the Agni a spear, Vayu gave a bow and two quivers. With inexhaustible supply of arrows, Indra created a Vajra from his powerful weapon Vajra and gave it to her, which had the power and swiftness of the thunderbolt. Airavata, the four-tusked white elephant, the vehicle of Indra, gave a bell to her. Therefore, Chandraghanta, the Ghanta gave to her. Yama, the lord of death, he gave a staff from his weapon, and the Prajapati gave her a garland of Rudraksha. Brahmaji gave a holy water pot Kamandalu, and the sun deity filled the pores of her skin with his brilliance. And in this way, time gave her a dazzling sharp sword with a shield, and the milky ocean adorned her with a pearl garland and beautiful clothes. Vishwakarma adorned her with a crest jewel, earrings, crescent of the moon, bracelets, anklets, necklaces, diamond rings, and various types of weapons, and an impenetrable armor. All this was presented to her. All this can be yours if you pray to her. It has to be just invoked. If your mind is focused on her and all this is her quality, then that becomes your quality. More than the ideal, follow the ideal. That's what masters say. But here, idol worship also will lead you to that ideal only. It's a representative of that ideal. And in this way, the ocean presented the goddess a garland of red lotuses which never faded. The Himalaya gave her a lion to ride on, and also various types of precious gems. Kubera gave the Lord of Wealth, gave her a wine pot, and which remained ever full. What does the goddess need a wine pot for? You will watch when the fighting starts. We will not go into all that detail, but she gets so angry. She says, अरे यार तू टाइम पास कर रहा है, मेरे को गुस्सा नहीं आ रहा है तेरे ऊपर. आई एम नॉट गेटिंग एंग्री विद यू, लेट मी गेट एंग्री. शी टेक्स द वाइन पॉट, ड्रिंक्स द गट एंड now tell me. Now I will finish you off. Thus, born out of the resplendence of the Shiva and all other gods, Devas, adorned by them, and goddess roared aloud, and her voice reverberated through all the quarters. The earth and the mountains trembled, and the oceans heaved with tidal waves. Seeing her seated on the lion and ready to fight, the Devas extolled her, crying, victory unto thee, and bowed before her in humble devotion. And here we see that
She doesn't have a name yet.
हाँ, अभी यहाँ पे नहीं है वो. So they sing her glory, and thereafter seeing the nature agitated all around, the asuras came out. ये क्या हलचल? What is this? खटपट हो रहा है all around. Why there is so much noise? Why the nature is becoming tumultuous? Why the heavens are shaking? Why everything is disturbed? And they came out, peeped out of the window in the heavens, or came out of the door of the heaven, and to check what is going on. And what do they find? That they came out of their dwelling to find out the cause of such a sudden change. And Mahishasur became very angry at the commotion and came out shouting, "What is this going on? Become quiet!" And the Asuras grabbed their weapons and rushed out in the direction from there where the noise was coming. And they all picked up their weapons. All Asuras also have the weapons. So they went in that direction from where the roars of battle cry had come. And when they reach there, what do they see? They see the divine form of the goddess, larger than life, engulfing the whole sky, and her crown, the jeweled crown, touched the clouds, and the feet pressed the earth down, the twang of her bow sent a shrill vibration through the nether worlds, which shook them with fear. Her 1,000 arms, upheld with weapon, filled the space. This is the vision, and they came and reported to Mahishasur that we saw this apparition. who is that? We don't know, but there is someone like that. And the Asuras lost no time in attacking the mother and with their weapons. They shot all kinds of arrows and missiles and swords and spears and everything, but none of them they were not able to defeat her, and one by one they were defeated by the mother. So the second chapter of the Durga Saptashati is about the killing of the armies of Mahishasur. I think that is correct, what I said. Is that it? And I'm not going into the gory details of how she killed everyone. So here, महिषासुर की सेना का वध नामक दूसरा, महिषासुर सैन्य वधो नाम द्वितीयोध्याय. So she has killed a huge chunk of army of the Mahishasur single-handedly. Now comes the third chapter. Remember, Madhyam Charitra is second, third, and fourth chapter. Now we are in the third chapter. Third chapter says all the generals of Mahishasur were killed, and in this, one of them was our Rakta Bija. So, who were the various generals that were killed, who came to attack when they heard that the whole army has been killed by the Devi? Our Mahishasur activated all the generals. Hey guys, what is this? You are sitting here and enjoying. Come on, we need to finish this. Otherwise we will have to leave this heaven and all the goodies that you are enjoying here. And Asuras are ever ready to fight. By nature, they are very. They want to kill and plunder. Just like on the border. They are Asuras. And then where are we? ये हो गया. No, wait a minute. The Asuras lost no time in attacking the mother with their weapons. They shot all kinds. We did this. Then the third chapter begins. Thereupon Mahishasur confronted the mother with his vast army, and in that the various generals were Chikshura, Chamara, Udgara, Mahahanu, Asiloma, Bhashakala, Vilala. All powerful allies of Mahishasur came with their numberless soldiers. Chariots, elephants, and cavalry, all of them armed to the teeth and engaged the mother in battle. The mother at first only intercepted their attack. After a while, she mounted offensive on the Asura armies in devastating strikes. She unleashed her lion on the Asuras, and it spread havoc in the ranks as if a wildfire had been set on them. The mother went on fighting playfully for a while with the Asuras. Time pass kar raha hai. Isko mara, chal usko mara. She knows she is not going to, that they cannot affect her in any way. Playing the game, giving them the satisfaction of fighting. They had put so much hard work in coming to her and lifting their weapons and hitting her. Maje le lo. But felt that there was no fun in single person fighting with a big army. Mother thought there is no fun in me fighting such a big army. Let me multiply into few more. And then she created from her exhalation millions and zillions of ganas, which soon swelled and filled the battleground. They danced in joy and played on drums and bugles and trumpets. Their sound reverberated the heavens and the earth, and multiplied the war tempo. And there ensued a fantastic war with the Asuric forces and the Ganas of the mother. Ganas are her forces. Just like our Kamadhenu also created an army to fight against Vishwamitra. Similar. The entire area was filled with heaps of dead bodies, and blood flowed everywhere, and all the horses and elephants were lying dead and bleeding, and it was impossible to walk through that area in that battlefield, and the allies of Mahishasura perished one by one. Along with them their vast armies also perished. Seeing the destruction wrought by the Ganas of Mother, Mahishasura became red with anger, and he assumed his terrible form. Now the 4th chapter is beginning. And he comes in the terrible form of a wild buffalo and broke down started attacking the Ganas of the mother. He ran crazy because he could use his horns, he could use his hooves, he could use his snout, he could use his body to push someone. So all parts and he's a asura. He is using his body in many ways to kill all the Ganas, and also his tail, and he was lashing them with his powerful tail. He blew up some of them like cotton by his panting exhalation, and then he turned to the lion, the vehicle of the mother. He kicked the earth with his hooves and raised a dust storm and charged at the lion. At this, the mother threw the Varuna Pasha and bound him up. The Asura, who was an adept in changing forms, immediately transformed himself into a lion. And then he thought that he could delude the mother by his magical power. And then the mother, however, cut the lion's head. Immediately the Asura changed himself into a man with a sword and shield. When the mother killed him also and broke the arrow and the sword and the shield, with her arrow she broke the sword and the shield. The Mahishasur assumed the form of an elephant and started pulling at the mother's vehicle. He caught the one leg of the lion and started pulling. Then mother cut with her sword the trunk of the elephant, and when that trunk was cut, the Asura then gave up his elephant body and assumed the original form of the buffalo again. And at that time, the mother was amused by all the tricks that he is doing, this form into that form into this form. अच्छा ट्रिकरी अच्छी है, मैजिक अच्छा चल रहा है. Who was now almost at his wit's end to know how and in which form to confront the goddess, because any form he will take, mother will immediately cut it, and he will take another form. Now what to do? And then the mother thought that the fight could now be brought to an end and decided to go about it in the Asuric style. Now she is leaving everything behind, no righteousness. Come down to the Asura can be killed in the Asuric way only. If you want to beat corruption and you don't know who the corrupt people are, you have to become corrupt, to start thinking like them so that you can catch them. You have to trick them into submission. You have to trick them into in such a situation, even though it is unrighteous, so that they can be caught. There is nothing wrong in that. But as long as you kill him and then you become unrighteous and you become corrupt. उसके बाद ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. You are doing what you are doing only to destroy the demon, to destroy the negative tendency. Because there is no other way. Only a thief can think like a thief, isn't it? But if you are always, the Yudhishthir could never think like, like Shakuni. He could never think like Shakuni. Krishna asked, when Duryodhana requested Shakuni to play on his behalf. Why didn't you call me? I'm a bigger thief than him. I'm a bigger trickster than him. I would have counteracted. He would have withdrawn, I would have withdrawn. And then you would have played and you would have won. But you wanted to be good. And what did that good lead to? Loss of everything. See? This is a lesson to be learned by us also. गुड़ी गुड़ी नहीं बनना है लाइफ में. जहाँ ज़रूरत है, where you see unrighteousness, where you see injustice being carried out, there you take the appropriate action. Just like in Sydney, there was one lady and the tunnel was being built under their house. Many houses. And she is a doctor. Out of her own free will, some लोगों ने चढ़ा दिया होगा. Because she was, how can they do this to us? This is not right. And she formed an organization, and all the street people, 3-4 streets people came together. Because if that tunnel is going like this, all the houses on top of that are getting affected, and they were not ready to. They want to live there only. It's a posh suburb in North Shore, and they didn't want to go. And she's working as a doctor, GP, but at the same time getting involved in all this litigation against the government and everything. And children are young and they are getting neglected, they are doing kirkir. And husband said, yes, we will do it like this, this is the right thing. And they both jumped into it. And after 2-3 years, they had lost so much money. And I was staying in that girl's father's place in Sydney, and he said, Swamiji, my daughter wants to come and talk to you. मैंने कहा क्या करना है अभी मेरे को क्या? I don't know her or anything. आ जाओ. And then she said, is it right what they are doing? Is it not our right to live in the house? Is it not right that I go to the court? Is it not right that we fight them with tooth and nail with all our resources? I said, you can write. Be ready for the consequence. You have every right to fight against injustice. But do you have the power to fight the government? It is for the greater good. You are only thinking about yourself. That tunnel is being built for the greater good. For the whole society, for the whole community, for the whole state it is being built. And there you with your one house with 300 by 400 square meters, and you want to take government to task because of that piece of land. Government can like this buy you out, and you don't want to. They did offer them, but they didn't want to be bought out. We want more. Eh? See? So I said, and she had gone into depression because after 2-3 years, what do other people do? They say, let her fight. हम drama देखेंगे जो चल रहा है. We will see the drama that is going on. And she sat behind. She was the front face and everyone was at the back. Yeah, we are there, but you fight. She is doing everything, meetings, going to court, this, that. Anytime there will be a hearing, she has to go. Her life was in disruption. And in the middle of all that, they were building a house and the builder went bankrupt. That also, when things have to go wrong, they go wrong like this. And they were at their wits' end. I said, the first thing you do is you get the meeting together and you hand it over. You say, my life is becoming a mess. I have done it for 3 years. Now someone take over. I don't care. I'm walking out. Someone will come. She says, but I only know everything that is going on. I said, they will learn here. You want your peace of mind, or you want to be crucified? She says, my life is a mess. I can't sleep at night. My children are alienated because I'm not there at home. I'm always fighting for the tunnel, and the tunnel is not going to stop. I know that. I said, if you know that, then why are you fighting? है ना बेवकूफ़ी? Some good sense prevailed. Next time I went with Swamiji, then she called me aside. She said, Swamiji, I gave up the job. I said, good. Then first time after all this, she said, please come over to my place. लोगों को they get lost in that act. They don't see it objectively. If you see it objectively, you will be the witness. You will see where you are getting caught up. So, here, where are we? The mother fought that fight and could now be brought to an end, and decided to go about in the Asuric style. So now, what is the Asuric style? The Asuras always fight after a good drink. Remember, she got a bottle of wine. So she said, wait before we fight. Good. She drank the wine. And then she said, now I will fight like you fight. Now I will not see what is right and wrong. I will just kill. And seeing this, the Mahishasur pride was hurt, and he roared in defiance. With his stout horns, he uprooted big rocks and hillocks and hurled them at the mother. The mother, however, and the fight is explained here in detail. We will not go into that. And then the buffalo-headed monster, the Mahishasur, who had terrorized the three worlds and was thus annihilated. There what happened was that because he was able to change form at will, from buffalo to elephant, from elephant to man, from man to any other form, mother was watching. Bahut ho gaya. And when he was, because any form he was taking, she was killing. He came back to the buffalo form, and the lion jumped onto the form on the back of the buffalo, and she caught him by his head, and before he could change the form into something else, she cut his head off. And that was the end of Mahishasur. The Devas, who were all scattered here and there and were living incognito in various worlds for the fear of the Mahishasura, now started coming out from their caves, and they regained their lost glory and attained their natural brilliance. They showered flowers on the mother and danced in joy, keeping Indra, the king of gods, in front. They came in large processions and prepared themselves to extol the mother with divine hymns. Their bodies were covered with horripilation due to excess of joy at the annihilation of Mahishasura. The Devas bowed low in devotion to the mother and sang, O mother, to thee our prostrations, who pervade the entire cosmos with your spiritual power and brilliance, who is the embodiment of power of all the celestial and who is worshipped by the great sages. May you be pleased to bestow auspiciousness on us. And in this way, when they prostrated, and all these prayers are there in the 5th chapter, I think. ये है ना, या देवी सर्वभूतेषु जातिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. This is the prayer they are making here now to the goddess, and we can read that. It is nice. Devya Uchuhu, page 110. Deva Uchuhu Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatam Namaha Namah Prakrityai Bhadrayai Niyata Pranata Smatam Raudrayai Namo Nityayai Gauryai Dhatre Namo Namaha Jyotsnayai Chaindu Rupinyai Sukhayai Satatam Namaha Kalyanyai Pranatam Vruddhyai Siddhyai Kurmo Namo Namaha Naivrutyai Bhubrutam Lakshmyai Sharvanyai Te Namo Namaha Durgayai Durgaparayai Sarayai Sarvakarinyai Khyatiyai Tathaiva Krishnayai Dhumrayai Satatam Namaha Ati Saumyati Raudrayai Natastasyai Namo Namaha Jagat Pratishthayai देव्यै कृत्यै नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विष्णुमायेति शब्दिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु चेतनेत्यभिधीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु निद्रारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु क्षुधारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु छायारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तृष्णारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु क्षान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु जातिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लज्जारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु श्रद्धारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु कान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु वृत्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु स्मृतिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दयारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तुष्टिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु भ्रान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। इन्द्रियाणामधिष्ठात्री भूतानां चाखिलेषु या भूतेषु सततं तस्यै व्याप्तिदेव्यै नमो नमः। चितिरूपेण या कृष्णम् एतद्व्याप्य स्थिता जगत् नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। स्तुतासुरैः पूर्वमभीष्टसंश्रयात् तथा सुरेन्द्रेण दिनेषु सेविता करोतु सा न शुभहेतुरीश्वरी शुभानि भद्राण्यभिहन्तु चापदः। या साम्प्रतं चोद्धदैत्यदापितैः अस्माभिरीशा च सुरैः नमस्यते। या च स्मृता तत्क्षणमेव हन्ति नः सर्वापदो भक्तिविनम्रमूर्तिभिः. In this way, they invoke the inherent qualities of the Devi by saying that my salutations again and again and again to whom? To the one who is the goddess, who is the Sarvabhuteshu, who is the basic elements out of which this whole creation is made. You are the Maya of the Lord Vishnu. You are the Shabda, the Moola Shabda. You are the consciousness, you are the buddhi, you are the sleep, you are the hunger, you are the the shadow, you are the shakti, means power, you are the trishna, trishna को क्या बोलेंगे? Thirst, thirst, you are the thirst, kshanti, peace, you are the peace, you are the jati with the various forms, you are the lajja, you are the bashfulness or shame, shyness. You are the Shanti, the peace, you are Shraddha, the faith, you are Kanti, the beauty, you are Lakshmi, the wealth, and you are Vritti, the thoughts, you are Smriti, the remembrance, you are Daya, the compassion, you are Tushti, the nourishment, you are Matru, the mother, and you are Bhranti, the deluder. Everything you are. How wonderful. And Indriyanam Adhishtatri Bhutanam Chakhileshuya. You are pervading everything. There is nothing that you are not pervading. And having made this prayer in this manner to the goddess, the devas, this is all the prayer. We can take all these prayers as a separate lecture sometime. Each name, Shraddha, Buddhi, Vritti, everything has a significance, which is not possible in next one lecture after this one. So, in this way, thus praising the mother, the devas worshipped her with flowers plucked from the garden of Nandan, and which is a mystical park, and anointed her with divine ingredients, and waved beautiful fragrances in her praise. And the kindly mother, when she was praised, anyone, if you praise me, I will, kya chahiye yaar? है ना? If someone is doing, स्वामी जी पानी लाऊं क्या? स्वामी जी मैं ये टेबल सेव कर दूं क्या? स्वामी जी मैं वैक्यूम कर दूं क्या? स्वामी जी मैं आपको मसाज कर दूं क्या? क्या चाहिए भैया बताओ? हाँ, तो वैसे ही, why we have all these 108 names and 1000 names of all the gods and goddesses? So that after we have praised them and they feel, they know that your attention is on them. If you are doing single pointedly, they know you are available to them. Then they say, "Acha beta bolo, kya chahiye?" When the Lord from outside has come and settled in your mind by those praises, you are seeing that Lord or Goddess, God or Goddess, in the various variety of forms that is possible for her. Here we have just taken a few. In Lalita Sahasranam there are 1000 names, each one her quality. Yeah? So she says, "I am pleased with your hymn and worship. Ask any boon that you wish and tell me if there is any other task that remains to be fulfilled by me." So here she says, where are we? Anyway, where it is, I don't know now. I can't find it. So she says, "Ask me for any boon." And immediately the Deva said, "You have become fulfilled so quickly. We didn't even chant 108 names. We chanted only few, and you have become pleased with us, and you are ready to fulfill everything that we want. But we are already fulfilled that you have killed Mahishasura. We don't want anything else. And there is nothing that remains to be done. And this itself is a great boon bestowed on us that you have asked us, but we don't want anything. But you know, but ek hota hi hai. But if you are so pleased with us, we ask you for one thing, that next time if any asura comes and we call you, immediately come and finish them off." They have taken a guarantee, lifetime guarantee, insurance, life insurance. That please foresee that all dangers that are going to befall upon us and remove them before they engulf us. This is the boon that they ask. And also, may this hymn that we have sung in thy praise Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha. Be useful to the human beings also, so that whoever amongst them sings it with love and devotion shall be blessed with prosperity, progeny, and peace. This is the Falashruti. And she said, Tathastu, be it so, so it may happen. And immediately after giving them the blessings, she withdrew her form. As quickly as she had appeared, that quickly she vanished from there. And where did she go? She went back to her absolute state. She went back to her immaculate state, which is the formless, attributeless. Only goddess, because that is her original form. She is one with she is the Brahmani. She takes a form only when invoked. Where is the mother in you? Unmanifest. The moment abhi call aa jayega, so immediately the mother will come out. If the husband calls, immediately the husband will come out. A wife will come out, okay. I thought they are wearing pants nowadays. The wife will come out. But you need something to invoke. Something to invoke. So just like you wake up from the dream, if some trigger is there in the dream to wake you up. Otherwise you will not wake up. Correct? Same thing in waking also. Wherever I am looking, only if someone says something that triggers something out of me. And this is how with you also it is. We have to just recognize that. And this way, he says, what is it? इति श्री मार्कंडेय पुराणे सावर्णिके मन्वंतरे देवी महात्म्ये देव्या दूत वसंवादो नाम पंचमोऽध्यायः. So with this we conclude the Madhyama Charitra. So first was Madhu Kaitava, second was Mahishasur along with the various generals and army and the generals. And what those all fellows mean, we'll look at it in our next class. अभी आराम करते हैं. क्या कर दें कंप्लीट? ब्रेक ले लो. हाँ. The next one can be 3 hours class. I was making it into 2 and now you want break. So it has to be 1 and 3. Joking. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Sit quietly for a moment.